Okay, so the last thing I'd like to show you how to do is how to play video in Unity. Um, we have the ability to have like an MP4 or another video file and play video and audio, and you can put it on like a television or movie projector style screen, like a rectangle. But you can also actually use it as like a moving texture or material for any shaped object, and you can even put like a 360 video as a skybox. So there's sort of a lot of interesting functionality with video in Unity. High res video or multiple videos running at once can create performance problems, of course. Just because it's like you're making a game and potentially in VR in our case, and also running video. But nonetheless, I want to show you how it's done. So first thing we're going to do is inside your assets, we right click, create, and then make a folder. And I've called mine video. So just getting organized. And then I dragged my prepared MP4 into the video folder. So now I've got this video called Fireworks. So we've got the video, but Unity needs a game object to play the video. And so we right click in the hierarchy and go to video and then video player. So this is the game object that plays the video. I'm going to name it something beyond just video player, because if we have more than one video in here, then we might need more than one video player. So I'm going to call this the Fireworks video player. So when our player gets through this little mini escape room and they get out here, I want this trigger collider that we already have playing a kind of victory sound. I want that collider to also play a video of fireworks on this screen. So in the Fireworks video player, the source is going to be a video clip. Our other choice would be a URL. You could actually have it go out to the internet to grab a video, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use a local video, and it's going to be the video clip Fireworks, which I will drag into the next box there. This is an awful lot like what we've seen with audio sources. It has a play on a wake and a loop function and things like that. It also has a playback speed, which could be potentially cool. I'm not going to play on a wake because we're going to turn this on in code. But if you just wanted a video to start from the beginning, as soon as you hit play, then play on a wake is your guy. The other thing that we're going to leave as default, but I just want to make sure you're aware of it, is that for now we're going to make what's called a render texture. And that needs a target texture, which is something we're going to have to create. So down in video, we're going to right click and create render texture. And we can call this Fireworks render texture. So this render texture is going to have a size. I set this to the video resolution. It may be the case that you could make this smaller as a way to cut on like performance issues. You could run this at 720 or something like that. I'm not honestly certain if that does cut down performance, or if it still takes just as much work to run a 1080 video and then also size it down. I don't actually know the answer to that. Anyway, I just make it the resolution in question. And then our video player can basically figure out like, how's the aspect ratio going to work in relationship to the object that it's going on? Are we fitting vertically, horizontally? Are we stretching? Those kinds of things. And then there is a question of how the audio is going to work. Is it going directly to the headset, or is it an audio source that could then be spatialized or things like that? You can also change the volume or just mute here. So now that we have that all set up, the last step is that we So now that we have our fireworks render texture, we have to make it the target texture in the video player. So we drag it to the target texture. And then finally, we're going to drag that render texture to the object that we want it to play on. And so automatically it makes a materials folder, and it makes a material where the albedo is actually the fireworks render texture. So this file gets made that's like all of the video as a texture that then is what's run on this material. So I'm going to, even though I don't want it to play on Awake in the real game, I'm going to set play on Awake this first time because we haven't written the code yet to turn it on. So let's just do that and hit play and see if it works. Okay, so the video plays. The only other thing that you might notice is this video is sort of subject to the lighting conditions. It's sort of more like a billboard than a video that's generating its own light, if that makes sense. And if you'd like this to look more like a TV screen or like just a proper video, rather than a video that's sort of on an object that has material properties, you can go into the materials folder where the fireworks render texture material is and change the shader from standard to unlit. And then inside unlit, we're going to choose texture. And now you notice the shadows get darker, the lights get lighter, and we don't have that sense that the directional light is kind of bouncing off of this surface anymore. Instead, this is kind of giving its own light. Okay, so the last step now is that instead of play on Awake, we want this video player to not play on Awake. We want it to play when we walk into this Win collider, this collider that we've built that already plays a sound when we walk in. So let's open up that same script that we'd worked on when we made it play a sound when we walked into this collider. So we double click that, it opens up in Visual Studio, and this is what it's doing. It's got an audio source as a variable, and then on trigger enter, when a collider runs into this trigger, as long as it's tagged player and we're not already playing the audio, we should play the audio. So we're going to add on to this to also play a video. So the first thing we need to do is we have to add another namespace, another using statement, and in this case it's going to be Unity Engine.video. So Unity Engine.video is not by default part of Unity scripting, and we need that to declare a public video player. And like we did with audio source, we're going to name it video player, but with the first letter as a lowercase. And so now we're just going to add down here in the if statement, we're going to address that video player, and we're going to have it play. So it looks an awful lot like the audio sources code. The only real difference aside from the names is that we needed to add this, this using statement. So when we go back to Unity, it's going to recompile that script that was already on our Win collider, and it will have a new variable box, and that's the video player. So this is the video player, Fireworks video player. So we're going to drag it in there. And now when we play our escape room and we win, once we cross in here, we should not only hear our drum roll and like win sound, we should also see the fireworks video play and hear its soundtrack. Here we go.